Los Angeles. They were the only major city in the United States without a professional football team after being abandoned by the Rams and the Raiders. The city was finally awarded an expansion team, and in only their third year, the Quakes have reached the World Bowl.
Who would have believed back in 1967 that Pete Rozell's dream would grow into the international event that the World Bowl has become today?
For only the second time in national football, the team has reached the World Bowl with an
Oh, look, I win again.
Ugger, hey, Ugger, what's the line?
The Royals +3, unless, of course, you want to place that in London, where there's so much money on the hometown team that the line is down to +1.
That's great. I'll take the Quakes. Can you really place a bet in London?
to make their second World Bowl appearance in a row. We're looking at a classic matchup today. The Royals have the speediest defense in football, and they'll have to be at their best against the high-flying offense of the Quakes. And don't forget the special teams. Both teams led their respective divisions in punt and kick returns.
Look at him over there. He's like a glorified bookie.
Today's television audience will be the biggest in history, with over 4.3 billion people tuning in across every country on the planet to see who will walk away with a coveted trophy in their hands.
Today there will be an overfull crowd.
What's the matter? The girls get bored?
Do they look bored? Listen, I placed a couple of bets on the house, just so you have a rooting interest.
Thanks, Auger.
What, are we taking bets with the guy who lost his shirt?
Well, they don't seem to mind.
In the world are right
Later.
here in London.
Now it's time to go down to the field for the kickoff. We've got Bob standing.
For those of you who don't recognize me, my name is Jonathan Dawes. Reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated.
3 years ago they came, forever altering the future of humanity.
My message must be brief. The companions are not the altruistic beings they appear to be. I staged my own death because they were planning to have me killed.
What in the hell is he doing? Did he tell you about this?
No, he didn't.
All of you who've had doubts in the privacy of your own home about the companions, you are not alone. There is an organized liberation movement. The time has come. The time has
Yeah,
come
go.
for humanity.
Stand by for instructions, Boone. The source of the satellite transmission?
Allow the companions to
Prepare the shuttle for immediate transport.
lives. My requests are simple. Keep your minds open. Keep your eyes open. Take control of your own destinies.
Boone,
Do not shield
the broadcast is emanating from a point over the plains in southwestern Nebraska.
We're on our way.
and women. I will talk to you again. I promise you.
We've got a very short window of time here. Sandoval's only minutes away. Do Doors have any interest in Nebraska?
Yeah, an assembly plant in North Platte.
Assembling what?
Satellite dishes.
Okay, I got a beat on the signal. Coming out of interdimensional.
There goes any opportunity we had of protecting Doors from Sandoval.
Status report, Commander.
We just arrived.
Do not approach the trailers. Now that I have your attention, please understand that I will utilize any means necessary to ensure the liberation of humanity.
Checkpoints, Alpha, Omega. Was doors intercepted?
No, sir.
Our inquiry will reveal the facts surrounding Jonathan Door's appearance. You previously revealed as fact that Mr. Doors was killed. By what measure do you deserve the trust of the Synod? I cannot quarrel with the Synod's present dissatisfaction. I commit that all such doubts will be vanquished upon my resolution of the crisis.
Such a commitment rings hollow when viewed against the history of Da'an's actions regarding this human, Doors.
A pattern of trust is not broken on the basis of one event. Only the whole of one's history is relevant for such a determination. The Synod is troubled that you were so easily deceived by Mr. Doors. However, we remain respectful of your achievements in this most difficult of assignments on Earth. For the immediate future, Da'an will be given the opportunity to rectify the dilemma. I am humbled by the Synod's ruling. A swift resolution will be forthcoming. The Synod requires immediate results.
Public reaction to the news that billionaire tycoon Jonathan Doors is still alive has been swift. Almost as shocking as Mr. Doors' dramatic breakthrough of the World Bowl telecast has been the latest Harris poll, which shows an unprecedented 6% disapproval rating of the Companions. This was the scene today outside Companion headquarters in Madrid, Spain, where anti-Companion sentiment is in full view for the first time in Europe. And in Singapore today, a joint human Talon research facility was closed for 2 hours while the police dispersed of a crowd of protesters.
Volume down. Doors should have brought us in on his plans. We haven't been in contact with him for weeks.
We've been aware of this strategy from the very beginning. We just didn't know the exact timing. Gotta admit, he definitely has a flair for the dramatic.
Yeah, well, he needs to have more of a flair for the collaborative. We have to find him. The Talons will begin their investigation immediately. Are you and Bellman prepared to be interrogated about your actions on the day of the shooting?
We've been ready since that day. We've always known at some point they would question us.
Volume up.
Here at home, that same anti-Companion sentiment is being felt. Da'an refused to comment. His attaché made the following statement.
Da'an and the Talon Synod are deeply troubled by the actions of Jonathan Doors, our former associate. We encourage Mr. Doors to come forward with any evidence he may have to support his allegations. Thank you. All personnel are working round the clock to bring Doors in. It's just a matter of time, Da'an.
I fear your efforts will prove fruitless. Prepare yourself for all eventualities. What is the progress of your search for Jonathan Doors?
The transmission site was constructed solely for this one broadcast. It would be impossible to have foreseen that an individual would have the resources to construct a complete television broadcast facility for this one use, and then abandon it.
Certainly it would have been possible to foresee that Jonathan Doors would have such resources, if he had not been confirmed as deceased.
It is the decision of the Synod that Zoor shall now be posted on Earth to bring resolution to this crisis. You shall assist Zoor in this endeavor, after which time your ultimate fate shall be determined.
Why was I summoned?
Your presence was requested by Zoor.
Zoor?
I will be in the garden if my presence is required.
That is most unlikely. Update me on the status of our efforts.
The satellite equipment was purchased from the Doors International North Platte facility via electronic transfers from a bank in Lausanne. We are currently interviewing every employee of that bank.
The equipment was picked up by a phony commercial cartage company, but the bills of lading were all in order.
We have a license plate on the truck that was used to transport the satellite equipment. The explosion destroyed virtually all the physical evidence at the broadcast site.
That is the totality of your investigative results?
This was an extremely well-planned scheme, Zor.
Planned by an ordinary human. You are implants. You sound respectful of this man who has outwitted you. Talons only respect a worthy adversary. Ordinary humans are not in that spectrum. If Da'an's actions led you to a different conclusion, alter your thinking.
Door's last statement was that more information will be forthcoming. It is my strong belief that he will strike again soon.
It will be difficult for him to break through global broadcast airwaves again. However, it is likely that Doors will utilize other media, since they will not be controllable, even by the Talons.
Staying one step ahead of Jonathan Doors will not be difficult. I have an assignment for you. Resume your search activities.
It is counterproductive for Doors to drop out of contact like this.
You've never been involved in a guerrilla war before, and that's exactly what this is. Now, we're on a need-to-know basis. That's the best way for us to assure success.
There's some things that he needs to know if he wants to live to fight another day. Find him.
Man, I love football.
I wonder why.
You know, it's not even a challenge anymore. Now, the Doors International situation, that's fun.
What do you mean?
Well, ever since Mr. Doors' splashy appearance, the play on Doors International stock has been non-stop. Plenty of room for the smart investor.
Like you.
Yes, like me.
You know, I don't mean to pry, Augur. I mean, I know that your optometrist bills are pretty expensive, but what do you do with all your extra earnings?
Well, usually I'm much more intimate with a woman before she asks for details of my financial profile.
Okay. Keep your little secrets to yourself, then. I need your help, though.
When have you ever come here for anything else?
Well, you're my knight in shining armor. What can I say? I need you to help me find Jonathan Doors.
Why?
Now, you never asked why before. What do you care?
You're right. I don't care. But doing favors for you and Boone takes me away from my core businesses. You cost me money.
This is important, Augur. More important than you can imagine.
You know how much I love a challenge.
So do I.
It is apparent to all Synod members that your respect for this human life form is misdirected.
You underestimate human resourcefulness and resolve. That is the prime reason for our journey here.
What is your purpose?
As I have estimated, Doors has made his next move.
This is Futurity Farm, an agricultural research center, a joint venture between the Talons, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and Doors International. The Chicago Tribune released documents from Jonathan Doors which details a secret program of human bioengineering experiments gone awry. Doors contends that when he rejected the Talon Synod's request for his company's involvement, he was placed in a companion hit list.
I am sorry for your predicament. I will do everything in my power to assure that you regain your seat as the American companion.
The Synod has spoken clearly. They wish Zoor to serve in that capacity. Is it not a violation of your motivational imperative to work against such a clear directive?
My motivational imperative requires that I work toward this goal for the betterment of all Talons. You have a deeper understanding of humanity than Zoor. Therefore, you will be more effective in implementing the Talon agenda because you will have the support of the human race.
We're here outside of Futurity Farm, where Ann Portnoy will be addressing the crowd shortly. Portnoy became the CEO of Doors International shortly after founder Jonathan Doors was apparently killed. Now, despite his reemergence, the Doors International board confirms that he will have no current participation in the company he built.
Are the allegations about Futurity Farm true?
There is cooperative experimentation occurring. All of the subjects are volunteers. What is an acceptable cost in human life to find the cures for your most feared diseases?
Every human being would answer that question differently. But the key is, humans must answer that question for themselves. The accusation here is that these experiments further Talon goals, not human ones.
But your government is involved in this project. Does that not suggest human acceptance of it?
Only if there's full disclosure to the people. That was not the case here. And unfortunately, our history shows that governments do not always act in the best interests of their people.
Do you believe companions would sacrifice humans for no other reason than to further companion goals?
I believe that it is the Synod's view that Talon well-being best serves the interests of humanity. Therefore, if Talon interests were at stake, I believe the Synod would not hesitate to sacrifice human life.
Do you believe that Talon well-being serves the interests of humanity?
Completely.
In the long term, that is certainly the case. I promise you.
Requests from news agencies and government watchdogs have gone unanswered, and details of these experiments remain shrouded in secrecy. Portnoy is making her way over to the crowd now.
Along with our partners, the Talon Synod and the United States Department of Agriculture, we feel that we have no choice but to expose the activities being conducted here at Futurity Farm. Please say hello to our prize heifer, Bessie. She now produces 10 times the amount of milk she used to, in half the time. I'd like to especially acknowledge the Talon Synod for contributing the best technology to this venture. We are committed to providing children all over the world with the milk they need. We also owe a great deal to Jonathan Dawes, who created this company. Sadly, somewhere along the line, he lost his way.
How do you respond to the photographs that Jonathan Dawes released?
I urge you to make your own determination. We welcome you all to tour our facility.
As Dawes International CEO Anne Portnoy contended, we have now heard the voice of Jonathan Dawes' so-called liberation movement.
Jonathan has jumped the gun. Zaor outsmarted him. This whole liberation movement is a mockery.
Maybe not. Don't minimize the effect of people seeing that there are Talon doubters out there. This is the first time, though, the world's seen this so clearly.
Am I hearing you right? Are you actually defending Dawes?
Hey, I still don't like his lack of communication, but we may have an opportunity here. Did Augur find Dawes?
No.
Okay, so we have to go this alone. We have two major problems, Dawes and Zaor.
The best way to get rid of Zaor would be to create a situation that makes him look bad enough that the Synod will want to replace him. But that same situation should probably play out so that Dawes' credibility is restored.
We need to do more than just get rid of Zaor. We need to get Da'an back in that seat. He respects us, and he's beginning to understand us.
All right, Zaor is relying heavily on Sandoval right now, so if we could misdirect him...
Who is the most public face who has spoken out against Jonathan Dawes?
Right now, I'd have to say be Anne Portnoy. She voiced the party line at the Futurity Farm pretty effectively yesterday.
So she would be the last person that Sandoval would expect to be working with Dawes.
Yeah, that's right.
Ah! If Dawes is still on this planet, I will find him. I just need more time.
That's all right, Augur. I've already told Boone this is probably a little too tough for you.
I will find him.
Good, Augur, good, but we've got to move now. Lily and I have been working on something else, and I guarantee it'll be much more fun.
Haven't you told him that I can't afford to do him any more favors?
We need to set someone up who's very smart. The setup has to be perfect, or he'll see through it. You up for it?
Heard of Anne Portnoy?
Moo.
We need to convince the companion representative that she is deceiving them.
For companion employees, you have a strange way of showing company loyalty.
You in or out, Augur?
Take it easy. I don't care what you're into.
After the close call at Futurity Farms yesterday, Portnoy should be heavily embroiled in damage control meetings.
You mean you don't believe that Bessie represented the full extent of what happened there?
We have to make these damage control meetings look like a meeting between Portnoy and Jonathan Dawes.
Devious, manipulative. I like it a lot. Okay, let's take a look at Miss Portnoy's schedule. Ooh, good guess, Boone. Looks like Portnoy's called a meeting between all the principals in the project. I guess damage control is the watchword for the day.
It's perfect. They're meeting at the Futurity Farm site.
Look at that. The guest list just changed.
Keep your shirt on. We've got to plan a lot more evidence to make it look like she's having a meeting with Dawes.
Pas de problème. I'm just getting started.
Sandoval.
Cap Marquette, come to Zora's office immediately. Bring any documentation related to the shooting of Jonathan Dawes.
About time they got around to questioning you. You must be talking to Bellman right now. She was fully prepped about our plan, right?
Right.
And of course, you'll remember just how loyal our friend Portnoy was to Jonathan Dawes.
How can I forget?
Have fun. Augur, back to work.
As the treating physician, Dr. Bellman, you were responsible for all medical decisions, correct?
You know, I am sick of your accusations. Why don't you just take a look at the tape yourself? Claire. Increase. Claire.
But you pronounced him dead. Doctor.
You see that line? That line is flat. Does it look flat to you? Now, flat means no heartbeat. No heartbeat means dead. What part of dead don't you understand?
You didn't accompany him to the morgue to perform the autopsy. Why?
I tried. My God, I tried. I was prevented by the Doors International representative.
And who was that?
Oh, my God. Executive Vice President of Doors International, Ann Portnoy.
What was the closest city to where Doors' satellite equipment was found?
Stapleton. Good idea, Augur. Portnoy should never have used her own personal messenger service to send the Futurity Farm photographs to Doors.
You know, you're right, Moon. This is fun.
Captain Marquette, on what basis did you make the determination that Jonathan Doors should not be moved?
As a Marine, I've been trained in emergency medical procedures. The wound was hemorrhaging, and I determined that moving the body posed an unjustified risk, since our tending physician was at that location. Our physician confirmed that judgment moments later.
Who authorized Ann Portnoy to remove the body from the scene?
I did.
Did you have any reservations about doing so?
That question is irrelevant, since Ms. Portnoy had legal right to direct the disposition of Mr. Doors' body. Our security briefing indicated that she had legal power of attorney over such matters, but irrelevance aside, I still would not have had any reservations.
Explain yourself.
As friends of the companions, Mr. Doors and Ms. Portnoy were frequently offered shuttle transportation, and on several of those occasions, I was their pilot.
Go on.
I observed Ms. Portnoy's intense loyalty to Mr. Doors. I would not expect her to act against his interests.
That's all, Captain.
Has Ann Portnoy been thoroughly investigated?
All acquaintances of Jonathan Doors, including senior management at Doors International, have been thoroughly... Yes.
I think I may have found something.
Okay, one more piece of the puzzle. Just one more piece.
Hey, you know, my friend, you're very good at this. If you ever need a job, you come talk to me, okay?
Gee, thanks. Send an anonymous email to Cynthia Clarkson. Tell her the Futurity Farm story is not dead. Be there tomorrow with a camera crew, and her second Pulitzer Prize is in the bag.
Well, how about appealing to her concern for humanity instead? Guess not.
And it is unprecedented for Ms. Portnoy to conduct a meeting at the site of a project without any of her project managers present. The evidence is clear. The meeting tonight is between Portnoy and Jonathan Doors.
Assemble a team. Mr. Doors should be given a proper Talon reception.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I need to speak to you about a matter of deep urgency.
It is unclear to me what urgent matters require my attention now.
Zor believes he's found Jonathan Doors. Sandoval's assembled a team to intercept Doors at Futurity Farm.
And what do you need from me?
I've done my own independent investigation. I don't believe that Zor and Sandoval are correct in their conclusions.
Have you presented your concern to Zor?
No. I suggest that you notify the Synod and warn them that Zor's plan is faulty.
If you are incorrect, my tenure on Earth will most certainly be ended.
If you don't act, that will be your situation anyway.
Are you certain of your conclusions?
I can't be completely certain. But I would not come to you if I had any doubts.
I will consider it.
Thank you.
I am uncertain about the wisdom of your planned assault on Futurity Farm.
Synod delivered me to this seat to make these decisions. Your sensitivity to the human race clouds your judgment. We will proceed as planned.
We were very fortunate that the companion anticipated the Doors would release evidence to the public regarding the research here at Futurity Farm. Without Zor-Or's advance warning, we never would have had a chance to clean up the more controversial aspects of our program.
Are you rolling? Are you getting this?
In the best case, premature exposure of our research here at Futurity Farm.
Somebody move!
Where's Jonathan Doors?
Agent Sandoval, what is the meaning of this?
This was the scene last night as agents from the companion office in Washington mistakenly raided the Futurity Farm facility. It now appears that the allegations of Jonathan Doors do have a basis in fact.
The Synod is cognizant of the warning issued by Dawn that the assault on Futurity Farm was ill-conceived. Dawn shall be reinstated to his standing as the American companion, effective immediately. I would like a few moments with Commander Boone.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you for trusting me.
Your words are most curious.
My motivational imperative compelled me to one course of action.
I would offer that that explanation holds only partial truths. Each implant will interpret what is best for the companions in their own way. You see, human determinations are not taken completely out of the equation.
I can only speak for my thought process. In my mind, it was imperative that you be reinstated to your position for the well-being of all Talons.
I've located your friend.
Where?
In the lobby of St. Michael.
Church?
You heard me.
You better be there. St. Michael's Church.
congratulations on some fine work at Futurity Farms.
Yeah, maybe next time we can work together, Jonah?
I had to establish this as our nerve center. Until it was set up, I couldn't risk anyone knowing my whereabouts.
Except for the ever-surprising Dr. Bellman.
Anyway, you seem to do pretty well without me.
Lily.
Peter!
Oh, so good to see you again. Peter Barker.
Will Boone.
Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Boone. After what you just pulled off, I'd say that reputation is most deserved.
Thanks.
The liberation movement is real. Peter used to work for Interpol. Now he's leading the charge in Europe. He has counterparts in Africa, Asia, Latin America.
How deep are we?
Oh, we're about 300 feet below ground.
What are these panels?
Well, the scientists tell me they're a polymer alloy, but because they register as organic, this means we're protected from any known detection device, including Talon.
Well, I'm afraid they're not working because one of our street operatives tracked you down.
Street operative? Is that all I am to you? Boone. C'est possible. Who do you think designed all these digital systems?
How long have you been playing with us?
Well, let's just say that I've been on the enlightened path a lot longer than you.
Excuse me, Dr. Bellman, they need you in a lab.
I need it in the lab.
How long can you stay?
Oh, they're not expecting me for 48 hours.
Well, aren't you full of surprises?
I have to be. I mean, that's what keeps me so damn interesting. What do you think?
Lily, please, let me show you my handiwork.
I had my doubts about your strategy. Still do. But we needed this.
Yes. Now the hard work begins. We're calling this Project Metal Scarecrow.
There is much to be learned from the recent events. One such truth is that humans cannot be expected to fall blindly into line with our wishes regardless of the gifts we give them. Our approach was based on the proposition that our needs might be better served by collaborating with this race rather than enslaving it.
We have the power to force this human race into compliance with our objectives. If Jonathan Dors is allowed to mobilize sentiment against us, that task becomes more difficult.
At this moment, the formation of this grouping of humans to oppose us is not sufficient reason to alter our plan. But the longer this human adversary remains a fugitive, the greater is his threat to us. His capture must remain a priority. It shall.